dioxide emissions in our state, which means it's also one of our biggest opportunities for impact. We know that transportation emissions like carbon dioxide, like fine particulate matter, have negative effects on our health and especially our children's health. But Virginia also spends $33 million every single day on imported gasoline. So EVs not only represent an opportunity to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also save huge sums of money at the same time. And the more internal combustion cars we take off the road, the better the air quality. And that is regardless of how that electricity is generated. So based on the average energy mix in Virginia, which means the sources of electricity generation across our state, including natural gas, renewables, nuclear, and a little bit of coal, switching to an EV can reduce your emissions by up to 70%. And as more renewable energy powers our grid, that number continues to get better and better. So you can find out your specific potential for emission savings by using the Union of Concerned Scientists tool, which uses your specific vehicle information and zip code to calculate your savings. So for instance, you would enter your zip code, which would tell you what the energy mix is in your immediate area, as well as what car you currently drive, and then a type of plug-in hybrid or battery electric vehicle that you would be considering. So you can actually find out what your direct savings would be. Even when you factor in the entire production of an electric car, EVs still produce less than half of the emissions of the comparable gasoline model. But as we all know, electric vehicles are just one piece of the puzzle, and they're even more powerful of a solution when combined with clean energy. You know, as some of us know, Charles charges his EV with the solar that comes off of his roof. So to tackle climate change, we really need both EVs and clean energy, more electrification. And thankfully, Virginia is actually working to become a leader in the clean energy sector with the Virginia Clean Economy Act, which went into effect on July 1st of this year, where we pledged 30% renewable sources by 2030 and 100% carbon-free by 2050. So right about now is where I generally start to lose people, and people think, okay, well, that's all great, but as awesome as that sounds, an electric car just isn't the right vehicle for me. And I want to help combat that a little bit. So there are over 40 models of electric cars available today. And while COVID definitely has impacted the release of more, there were actually 15 more new EV models scheduled to come out in 2020. And those have now combined with even more models, even actually 10 more models, so 25 total between now and 2023. Major manufacturers have all pledged their goals for fully electric fleets. So electric cars aren't just the future of the automotive industry, they're actually here right now. There are so many myths, though, designed to keep you out of an electric car, and the biggest is range anxiety. The average American only drives around 30 miles a day, which is well under the average range of an all-electric vehicle. That means an EV can be your perfect daily driver. Another question we hear all the time at Gen180 is, but where am I going to charge? The answer, thankfully, is at home. 80% of EV charging happens at home overnight. Just like charging your cell phone, it becomes a part of your evening routine. Now, I will say that there are definitely challenges that we are currently working to address with charging in multi-unit dwellings, for instance, or apartment complexes. But for the vast majority, charging at home is absolutely an option right now, and it's going to be an option for everyone in the future. The other 20% of charging can happen at your workplace or on the go. There are currently 1,400 public charging outlets in Virginia. You can see the map here on the slide, with significant growth slated over the next 3 years. Virginia has partnered with EV Go, which is a charging infrastructure based out of California, to expand Virginia's charging network. And when the project is complete, 95% of Virginians will be within 30 minutes of a fast charger. And if your workplace doesn't have EV chargers yet, we can actually help you deal with that and help you advocate for more charging infrastructure in your community. So there are 3 different types of chargers: level 1, level 2, and fast charging. Levels 1 and 2 are really the most common for charging at home, while level 2 and fast charging are most common for what you'll see on the road. We all have access to level 1 charging in our home right now. You just plug into any basic outlet, same one you use to charge your phone. You can charge your toaster the same way you charge your car. But level 1 can be a bit slow, so that's why level 2 charging is often recommended for your home. This level uses the same 240 plug as your oven or your washing machine. And an electrician can easily install one of these plugs and a corresponding charger in your garage or parking access. Mine's going in my outdoor driveway behind my house. It really is easy. When we're charging on the go, however, we do want the quickest charge possible. Fair, we're on the road. So that's where fast chargers come in. And fast chargers convert electricity to a more efficient form of charging. So they deliver DC, direct current power, directly to your car's battery. So what's the impact on your wallet if you're switching gas for electricity? Thankfully, the answer is savings. The e-gallon, so the gallon equivalent cost in Virginia is $1.13, which is well below the comparable cost for a gallon of gas. And electricity prices are considerably more stable than gas prices, meaning you don't have surprises when you go to fill up the tank. So when you combine fuel savings with the maintenance savings, EVs are they're a home run. On average, in the US, EVs cost less than half as much to operate as a gas-powered car. Another thing we often hear is that EVs aren't affordable. And while I feel that frustration, I see the really expensive models out there. Overall, that's just not the case. You know, the average out-the-door cost of a new car in the United States is $39,000, and there are over 20 electric cars that are at or below that amount. And that's before you consider any tax credits or discounts or rebates that might be in your state. So electric cars are here, but like we've said before, they're just part of the clean energy transition. We need to rethink transportation across the board, from ownership to public transit to community design. But between now and then, we need to replace millions of gas guzzlers on our roads with electric cars. Thankfully, 63% of Americans are considering an EV for their next car, including over half of Virginians, and hopefully that includes a lot of people here today. There are multiple ways that people can take part in the Electrify Your Ride campaign if you're interested to help accelerate EV adoption rates right here in Virginia. If you're already an EV owner, you can be an ambassador, and Charles and Zach are always happy to talk to you guys about that. You can encourage your workplace to go electric or advocate for electric buses in your community. You can also sign the Going Electric pledge. Only 10% of the population is ever shopping for a car in a given year. So there's a lot of ways to signify your support for this mission, even without having to swap out your car right now. And signing the pledge helps demonstrate demand in your community, which translates effectively over to better policies and more availability on the lots of dealerships. So I would definitely consider you to sign the Going Electric pledge on Generation180's website. Okay, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll pass it back to Charles, but we might have time for a question or two if there's anything in the chat. Thank you guys so much.